And London Breed joins us now. In our last hour, we heard from Mark Leno, one of your fellow candidates. He told us there's been a serious turn of events in the mayor's race, and he leveled a serious accusation against you. We want to hear what Leno had to say, and then we'll get your reaction.
A very serious turn of events in the campaign just last night when Ron Conway's money machine put $200,000 into a super PAC for London Breed, distracting us from the real issues of the day, which I know we're going to talk about, and instead attacking one of the other candidates in the race. And unfortunately, there are already multiple super PACs for Supervisor Breed, and now it's off and running, and I'm hoping that there won't be retaliations, because then the campaigns themselves become incidental to the billionaires who are funding the super PACs.
So your reaction to what Mark Leno had to say just within the last hour?
I would just say that Senator Leno has been in office for close to 20 years, receiving close to $1 million in super PAC money, and never once has he denounced these particular super PACs, which he and I both know that you can have absolutely nothing to do with those particular super PACs. We can't communicate with them, we can't talk with them. All we can do is run our campaigns, focus on the issues that San Franciscans care about. That's what I plan to do, is focus on the issues around homelessness, housing, public safety. That's what matters at the end of the day.
He said Ron Conway put that $200,000 into the super PAC. Would that make you beholden to Ron Conway?
Let me just be clear. I've been in office for 5 years. I've worked in the city all my life. I came from absolutely nothing. And I have worked my butt off to do things for the community, for the city. And at no time in my career have I been accused of being beholden to anyone until I stepped into the political arena. I think that's really unfortunate. And again, I am here to do a job for San Franciscans. I'm here to do a job to make sure that no one is left behind, like many of the people I grew up in the Western Addition with, who continuously get left behind because of petty politics. We have a job to do, and as mayor, that's what I'm prepared to do, is focus on the issues and do what is right by the citizens of our city.
Let's talk about the issues, because there are so many. The next mayor of San Francisco has a lot of critical issues that the late Mayor Ed Lee had faced when he was in office: the homeless crisis, yes, housing shortage, street crime. If elected mayor, what would be your #1 priority after taking office?
Well, my #1 priority is definitely addressing the issues around homelessness and the quality of life that's on our streets every single day. I mean, the fact is, it's a public health crises where we have to make sure that our streets are clean and the people that are living on our streets are housed and receiving services. I have a complete homeless plan on my website, londonformayor.com, along with a plan to build more housing, a plan to address issues around public safety. And I think, again, we have got to focus on all of these issues simultaneously. Yes, people are frustrated with what they see on our streets, but we also have to build more housing, and we have to build more housing faster. So a combination of a number of things are what I'm planning to focus on.
San Francisco is a sanctuary city, and we've seen an intense battle over the city's immigration policy. You said you've been willing to go to jail to support such policies. Why do you think that benefits San Francisco?
I think the fact is, our immigrant population is an important part of our city, an important part of our communities. I mean, we're talking about people in some instances who have never even been to the countries that they oftentimes are basically deported to. They are a part of the fabric of what makes our city a great city, and I think that it's important that we protect all of our citizens in our city, and that's what a mayor's responsibility is to do, and that's why it's important. How fair is it to take, for example, a 20-year-old kid who basically has been in San Francisco since maybe they were 2 years old, and then deport them to a country that they are not even familiar with? How fair is that, to tear them apart from their family for the purposes of implementing an unjust policy? So as mayor, it's my responsibility, to protect all of the residents of our city, which includes our immigrant population.
What about the immigrants who have broken the law, committed serious crimes?
Immigrants break the law. U.S. citizens break the law. People break the law, unfortunately. And yes, there has to be consequences for those kinds of things. I grew up in a community, sadly, where, it was disproportionately impacting the people I grew up with, where they have gone through the criminal justice system. We have to make sure that there are reforms. We have to make sure that there are programs and opportunities. Why is it that someone like me is the only one who's had an opportunity to make it out and actually run for mayor? We have to do a better job on the front end and support supporting our communities where we know there are challenges that exist, and make sure that there are opportunities to be successful in life, opportunities to work good paying jobs, be CEOs of these companies. And in my education platform, which I'm proposing as mayor, it is to provide a real link between our young people in our public school systems and opportunities in the healthcare industry, in the tech industry, and all of these opportunities that exist in a wealthy place like San Francisco. We have got to do more to connect the dots, because that's what we're not doing. That's what's missing in this bigger piece of the puzzle.
I want to get one more thing in, the housing shortage. It's something that faces so many people living in San Francisco. Families want to stay in San Francisco. The fact is, they just can't find affordable housing. You said you've lived the problem firsthand. You grew up in San Francisco. You know what it's like, how hard it is. As mayor, what would you do to ease the housing crisis?
Part of it is, first of all, I grew up in public housing over 20 years of my life. There was no real housing ladder where you have low, moderate, and middle income residents. Oftentimes, like teachers and janitors and others, they make too much to qualify for affordable housing, but not enough to afford market rate. And as mayor, I will provide a real housing ladder so that there is real diversity, economic diversity, and opportunities for all San Franciscans, and also identify underutilized sites to build more housing. The McDonald's site in my district on Haight and Stanton, I went to the property owners 2 years ago. You all did the story. You know what happened. We purchased the property for below market rate, and now we're going to build 100% affordable housing on this site for low, moderate, and middle income residents. We have got to get more creative, step outside of our comfort zone, and look for opportunities all over San Francisco, public-private partnerships for the purpose of delivering housing for San Franciscans. And I have a housing plan on my website as well.
All right. Well, London Breed, we appreciate your time tonight. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
All right.